This is going to be the fastest perk ranking video of all time. I'm going to put the perks into a tier list, and I'm going to try to explain them as little as possible. Let's get into it. Starting off, we have Bandolier Bandit. All this perk does is give you more ammo, which can be good for high rounds, but when you're doing high rounds, you usually just use the Helion Salvo, which is broken. So otherwise, this perk is useless and a waste of a perk slot. D tier, because it's not totally useless, I guess. Blaze Phase. This perk is an example of a perk that is completely useless. You crouch, and after a while, you blast forward with fire that goes behind you, and it's really bad. I don't really know what else to say about it. It's garbage. F tier. Blood Wolf Bite. This is just a perk version of the alternate ammo type Brain Rot. It just spawns in a wolf that kills zombies for a little bit, but it takes way too long to recharge. At this point, I just get Brain Rot as an alternate ammo type. It's quicker, cheaper, and I just like it better. D tier. The original Deadshot Daiquiri. This perk could have been much better, except for the fact that on mouse and keyboard, it's pretty much useless. It gives you aim assist towards the heads of the zombies as opposed to the bodies, but that really only happens if you're on controller. Mouse and keyboard guys got a really big problem with this perk. It's not that good nonetheless, even on controller. Really cheap, but still a waste of a perk slot. D tier. Deadshot Daiquiri from Cold War. This perk is absolutely goated. With the upgrading system in Cold War, this perk just becomes 20,000 times better and super fun to use. Honestly, this is one of the first perks that I grab in Cold War just because of how good it is. Considering I'm a controller player, the aim assist on this is 20 times better than OG Deadshot. Not gonna lie, this is an A tier perk. Cold War Death Perception. The only reason that I grabbed this perk is so I could get the extra salvage upon salvage drops. Other than that, it's not that good, but because of how useful salvage is in Cold War, it's a very useful perk nonetheless. C tier. BO4 Death Perception, however, is completely useless. It's one of the worst perks I've ever seen. It allows you to see zombies through walls, and if there's a zombie behind you, it has an arrow pointing towards it. Well, listen to this. This might be a crazy idea, but have you ever tried this? Oh, there's a zombie behind me. Let me go kill it. Waste of a perk slot, and honestly just a terrible perk overall. F tier. Double Tap 1.0. This perk was a really good idea executed poorly. It needed the double damage like 2.0 did. Having fast fire rate is really good, but on BO1 when the guns aren't really that good, I find myself just running out of ammo really quick.
I need to find some ammunition.
Unless I'm using the HK, which has a slow fire rate, I just lose my ammo in a matter of seconds. It's pretty good, but it's a classic, so I gotta give it respect. C tier. Double Tap 2.0, however, is an absolutely goated perk. Faster fire rate and double damage. There's nothing better than that.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
I don't really think I need to explain. S tier. Dying Wish. This perk is really good for newer players or players who aren't that good at BO4. Me. Upon rewatching my footage, I found out that I explained how Dying Wish works horribly, so I'm just going to read it straight from the wiki. Dying Wish, when purchased, will prevent the player from falling into Last Stand. Instead, the player will enter Berserk mode. The screen will turn red and prevent the player from receiving all damage for 9 seconds. After Berserk mode is ended, the player will be left with 1 health. Dying Wish will then need time to be used again, with the cooldown extending after every activation. So I find this to be a clutch perk at every single game that I play in BO4. My only problem with it is how long it takes to recharge. Like, it takes stupid long for this thing to recharge. If you use it once, it takes 9 minutes to recharge. If you use it twice, it takes 11 minutes to recharge. 3 times, 14 minutes. 4 times, 18 minutes. And 5 times, 24 minutes. If it was faster, it'd be an S tier, but because not, I gotta put it at A. Electric Cherry. Noah J456 and I agree on one thing here. This perk is criminally underrated. When you reload, it fires off an electric burst that stuns zombies around you, which can be really good if you're stuck in a corner. Really good, criminally underrated, but it's not the best out there. B tier. Elemental Pop. I'm gonna say it, if this perk was on BO3, this might have been the greatest perk of all time. Pretty much what this does is that every once in a while, it'll fire off a random alternate ammo type, and it can be really helpful at times. Not gonna lie, I find it super fun and super useful. I'm gonna put it at A tier. Oh, and also, if you upgrade it all the way, it has an Electric Cherry upgrade, which is really helpful. Ethereal Razor. Pretty much what it does is that it gives you extra melee damage. That's all you really need to know. As a person that likes the melee till the max round possible, this perk is pretty useful. But because of how expensive everything is in BO4, there's no way in hell that I'm actually gonna get this in time before the knife becomes like 4 or 5 shots. This perk is pretty useless, but it's not terrible overall, but I'd rather have a lot of other perks in BO4. D tier. Juggernog from Cold War. Juggernog, it's an OG perk, it's a solid one, gives you more health, how can you hate it? Cold War is pretty easy, you don't really need Jug, I mean obviously you're gonna buy it regardless, but you have armor, killer streaks, Casimirs, other grenades. Jug in this game is not that good regardless, it's alright, but it still gives you more health, you can't hate it. B tier. OG Juggernog on the other hand is an absolutely goated perk. Instead of 2 hits to down on BO2, it becomes 4 or 5 hits to down. Insanely good, you can't hate it. Top of S tier, for sure. Cold War Mule Kick. This perk is super helpful. If you haven't upgraded all the way, it gives you a few cool extra features. One, if you down and lose this perk, if you buy the perk back, then you'll get your gun back for completely free, which I think is insanely good. 2, it allows zombies to drop extra ammo drops. And 3, the perk machine shoots zombies if you buy it straight from the perk machine, which I think is pretty cool and also super creative. Sometimes I feel like this perk is more useful than Jug on Cold War, so I'm putting it above it at B tier. OG Mule Kick, not gonna lie, kind of useless. All it does is give you a third gun, which is nice at times, but for 4K, it's not that nice. D tier. PhD Flapper. This is my all-time favorite perk. I don't care what anybody says. All self-explosive damage you become immortal to, and if you dolphin dive off of staircases, buildings, cliffs, whatever, once you land, an explosion will pop off and kill all zombies around you. Super fun to use. I'm pretty trigger happy when it comes to explosives and zombies. Gonna put this at S tier. PhD Slider, I gotta say it, this is just a much better version of PhD Flapper. On BO4, the Helion Salvo is your best friend. On high rounds, this is absolutely necessary. On Easter egg runs, it's not necessary, but a lot of people use it just so they can use the Helion Salvo freely. Because of how good it is on BO4, I'm actually gonna put this above double tap, because not gonna lie, if BO2 had PhD Slider, I think a lot of people would be using it a little bit more than double tap. Cold War Quick Revive. This perk is pretty good. It allows you to regen health faster. In Cold War, since you already have self revives and can buy them back, this doesn't give you self revives, but if upgraded all the way, a few things can happen. 1, if you kill a zombie while down, you'll get yourself back up for free. And 2, if you revive another player, both you and the player you picked up will have a speed boost for about like 5 or 10 seconds. It's not that good. There are much better perks on Cold War, but still pretty good. B tier. OG Quick Revive. Everybody loves it. You can't hate it. It allows you to revive teammates faster, and on solo, it allows you to have an extra life by reviving yourself. Gotta love it, but it's not the best by any means necessary. Honestly though, I'd rather have it than Dying Wish. A tier. Cold War Speed Cola is dog water. They made the reload animation super slow, and just the reloading in general super slow. I could kind of go without it. C tier. Honestly, I don't really know if I want to put it above or below Double Tap 1.0. I'd probably say they're interchangeable. OG Speed Cola, however, faster reloading, but actually good faster reloading. Super good, gotta love it. Sometimes having faster reload is better than having more damage, so I'm gonna put it above Double Tap 2.0 at S tier. Cold War Stamina is incredible. This makes you faster than Usain Bolt times 5. I mean, you are flying through the map at Mach 10 speeds, and you just cannot be stopped. You're an unstoppable force that is just a menace to society if you have this fully upgraded.
He stole my suit! He's a menace to the entire city!
This is one of the first perks I buy. Gotta love it. It's one of the best. I'm gonna say it. It's an S tier perk. OG Stamina Up, I'd actually much rather have Cold War Stamina Up than OG. Not saying this is a bad perk. I like being able to run fast, but it's not the best. And occasionally, it's the forgotten perk. Not many people get it, especially when you have Quick Revive, Jug, Double Tap, and Speed Cola. And occasionally Flopper. B tier. Stone Cold Stronghold. This perk is pretty good for high rounding on BO4 because if you stand in the same spot for a while, it forms a ring that allows you to have more damage. Considering most of the high round BO4 strats are sitting in corners for hours at a time, this perk can be pretty useful. Other than that, there's no reason to buy it whatsoever. D tier. Time Slip. I find myself only buying this perk if I'm doing a BO4 gauntlet. What this perk does is that it allows things to go faster, such as animation times, and allows the traps to recharge faster, which is why it's pretty good for gauntlets if you have a trap challenge. Other than that, kind of useless. Another D tier. Cold War Tombstone. I haven't found a reason to say this is a really good perk. I feel like I could go without this perk in any game of Cold War. It has cool features such as the Who's Who animation, and you're able to get it back in later rounds and stuff like that. Other than that though, I don't ever get this perk. I really don't like it.
But the perk jingle is fire.
Rest in pieces. Time for the count.
Another D tier. OG Tombstone, this is an example of another useless perk. If you die with this perk on co-op, you're able to get all of your stuff back the next round. It also has a cool glitch where you're able to get all the perks on Town and BO2, Dog Water perk. Because of the glitch though, I'm not gonna put it at F, I'm just gonna put it at the very bottom of D.
But it still has the fire jingle.
Rest in pieces. Time for the count.
Victorious Tortoise. This perk is the exception of a lot of BO4 perks. This perk is an insanely good perk and can be a lifesaver at many times. If you have a shield and it breaks, it explodes and kills a lot of zombies around you. Super goated, and I also feel like it's a clutch perk like Dying Wish, but just much better. S tier. Vulture Raid. I love this perk. It's a really cool idea. It's really fun. You're able to see stuff through walls such as perk machines, wall buys, pack-a-punch, mystery box, etc. It also gives you the ability that some zombies will drop ammo, cash, and occasionally this green mist, which if you go into, zombies are unable to see you for a period of time. Super cool, super creative, super unique. B tier. Who's Who? It's garbage. Pretty much what it does is that if you down, you're able to revive yourself by forming into like this ghost mode, but you have to do it with the starting pistol, which is ridiculous in my opinion. I think everyone everybody else would agree with me. F tier. Actually, I'm going to put this above Blaze Phase because sometimes people actually buy Who's Who. Unlike Blaze Phase, which nobody buys. Widow's Wine. Goated perk, everybody knows it. Released on one of the best maps of all time, Shadows of Evil. If a zombie hits you and you have grenades on you, there are these things called Widow's Grenades, which will explode and form spiderwebs everywhere, freezing the zombies and slowing them down for a temporary amount of time. You could also throw the Widow's Wine grenades, but unfortunately, if you have Widow's Wine grenades and you're holding the last zombie, Widow's Wine can kill the last zombie, which can be annoying for some Easter egg step, but it's not the end of the world because this perk is goated nonetheless. Definitely top tier, gonna be S. Winter's Wail, I'm just gonna say it, it's a better version of Widow's Wine. Winter's Wail does the exact same thing as Widow's Wine, but instead of throwing out spider webs, it throws out cool mist and pretty much freezes the zombies in place.
3 good reasons Winter's Wail is better than Widow's Wine. 1, the explosion radius is significantly bigger on Winter's Wail. 2, it doesn't take away your grenades, unlike Widow's Wine. And 3, Winter's Wail hits can recharge, unlike Widow's Wine, which you need either max ammo drops or spider drops to recharge.
It's better than Widow's Wine as an S tier. Zombshell, if you kill a zombie, pretty much what it does is that it forms an orb that slows down other zombies or something like that. I don't really know. I never used it. It's pretty much a useless perk. I don't like it at all. F tier.
So that's the tier list. There you go. You got the whole thing. If you have any complaints, my complaints department will be happy to help you in the comment section below. But they will not respond because they do not care. By the way, I'm them. I do not care. Like and subscribe, please. Be really cool if you did. This took way too long to edit. I'm exhausted. I'm gonna go to bed. See ya.